All right, let's talk man to man. Well, doctor to man, but you know what I mean. If your mornings aren't what they used to be, and I think we all know exactly what I'm talking about here, you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to share with you changed the lives of dozens of men in my practice. And it starts with something you're probably already doing every single morning. I'm Dr. Olivia Grant, and I've been a urologist for over 30 years. I've sat across from thousands of men, good men, healthy men, men who take care of themselves, who came into my office completely blindsided. They thought what was happening to them was just inevitable, just part of getting older. And I've spent 3 decades telling them the same thing. It doesn't have to be. Now, here's what's interesting. You're already drinking coffee every morning, right? Most of you are. And what if I told you that with a few simple additions to that cup, things you can grab at any grocery store for maybe 15 bucks total, you could actually support blood flow, hormone levels, and yes, those morning situations that used to be a whole lot more reliable. Before you roll your eyes and think this is some kind of alternative medicine thing, let me be clear. Everything I'm sharing today is backed by real research. Peer-reviewed studies, not internet rumors, not some guy's blog. Real science. And beyond the research, these are things that real men in my practice have been using successfully for years. I've seen the results firsthand. So here's the deal with regular coffee. It's not bad. It gets your blood pumping, sharpens your focus, gives you that mental edge in the morning. But here's what it actually does to your body. It gives you a spike and a crash. Your heart rate jumps, you feel great for about an hour, and then by 10 a.m. you're hunting for your second cup. And while caffeine does temporarily boost circulation, it does nothing for the underlying issues that actually matter for men over 50. After 50, testosterone starts declining. Your blood vessels become less flexible. And that quick caffeine hit is like putting a band-aid on a broken pipe. What we need to do is turn that coffee into something that actually works with your body, not just a temporary wake-up call. Think of it this way. You wouldn't put regular unleaded in a Porsche, would you? After 50, your body needs premium fuel. And the beautiful thing is that premium fuel is sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, or it's waiting for you at the grocery store down the street. Let's start with cinnamon. And I don't mean dumping half the bottle in your mug. Just a quarter teaspoon, maybe half if you really like the taste. But here's something most people don't know. Not all cinnamon is created equal. You want Ceylon cinnamon, not the regular cassia cinnamon that's in most grocery store spice aisles. Ceylon has much lower levels of coumarin, and that matters if you're using it every day because coumarin can be hard on your liver in high doses. So look for Ceylon specifically. It's worth the extra dollar or two. Now, why does cinnamon matter so much for what we're talking about? It's essentially nature's blood sugar regulator. Studies show it can reduce blood sugar by up to 29%. And blood sugar control is absolutely critical for erectile function, something I tell every single one of my patients, especially the guys who come in with diabetes or prediabetes. Here's the connection most men never hear about. When your blood sugar keeps spiking and crashing throughout the day, it slowly destroys the tiny blood vessels that supply the penis. We're talking about vessels thinner than a human hair. Those are the first ones to go when blood sugar is out of control. High blood sugar causes what we call glycation. Essentially, your blood thickens up like syrup and starts clogging your vessels. It's like sandpaper on the inside of your arteries. Cinnamon contains compounds called polyphenols that actively fight this. They keep your blood sugar stable, which means better blood flow to where it counts. But here's what's really cool about cinnamon. It has this warming effect that actually relaxes blood vessels through something called vasodilation. You know that feeling when you eat something spicy and you feel warm all over? It's a gentler version of that. The compound responsible is called cinnamaldehyde, and it helps your body produce nitric oxide. That's the same molecule that Viagra works on, by the way, just naturally. Guys in my practice tell me they notice more balanced energy throughout the day when they add cinnamon to their coffee. No jitteriness, no afternoon crash, just steady energy. I had a patient, let's call him Robert, a 58-year-old contractor from Nashville, who told me it was the difference between needing a nap after lunch and actually making it through the whole afternoon on a job site. That's real-life impact. And honestly, it makes your coffee taste like it came from a specialty shop. If you've ever had Mexican café de olla or Middle Eastern cardamom coffee, you know that spiced coffee has been around for centuries. These cultures figured out the benefits long before we had clinical studies to confirm them. Next up, raw cacao powder, not the sweetened hot chocolate mix, not the Hershey stuff. I mean actual unsweetened cacao powder, the kind that's so dark it's almost black. Just 1 teaspoon stirred into your coffee. Here's what it does to your body. Cacao is loaded with flavonoids, specifically epicatechin and catechin. These are the same compounds that make dark chocolate heart healthy, but without all the sugar and calories. These flavonoids do something crucial. They boost nitric oxide production. If you're not familiar with nitric oxide, think of it as the master switch for erections. It's the signal that tells your blood vessels to open wide and let blood flow. When you're young, your body pumps out plenty of it. After 50, production drops by roughly half. The more nitric oxide you can produce naturally, the easier and firmer things become. And cacao is clinically proven to increase it. A study published in the Journal of Hypertension showed that men who took cacao daily had improvements in blood flow comparable to certain medications, but without the side effects. We're talking about a 30% improvement in flow-mediated dilation, which is the medical term for how well your arteries open up. That is a significant number. Cacao also does something interesting for your mood. It contains a compound called anandamide, the same chemical your brain produces when you fall in love. It literally makes you feel good. There's also phenylethylamine, which acts as a natural antidepressant. So you're not just supporting physical performance, you're getting your head in the game too. And honestly, after 30 years of doing this work, I can tell you that half of what happens in the bedroom starts between your ears. Here's another benefit nobody talks about. Cacao is loaded with magnesium. Magnesium is critical for testosterone production and muscle function. The vast majority of American men are deficient in magnesium, and this is one of the easiest ways to get more of it every single day. Taste-wise, it turns your coffee into a mocha without the sugar bomb. If it's a little too bitter at first, add a tiny bit of stevia or monk fruit, natural sweeteners that won't spike your blood sugar. That's a detail that matters a lot for the men in my practice who are managing diabetes or watching their A1C. Now let's talk about Maca powder. This one is fascinating to me. It's been used in Peru for thousands of years, and they literally call it the natural Viagra down there, but it works nothing like Viagra. Instead of forcing blood flow for a few hours, Maca actually helps your body produce more of its own hormones naturally. It's a fundamentally different mechanism. Maca grows at about 14,000 feet up in the Andes, conditions where almost nothing else survives. That harsh environment makes the plant extraordinarily resilient and dense with nutrients. It contains 19 amino acids, vitamin C and E, calcium, zinc, iron, magnesium, and a set of unique compounds called macaines and macaides that you genuinely cannot find anywhere else on Earth. The research on Maca is pretty impressive. A 2009 study showed that men taking 2.4 grams daily, roughly 1 teaspoon, for 12 weeks reported significant improvements in desire and performance. Another study found it improved sperm count and motility. But here's the key thing to understand. It's not a stimulant. It's what we call an adaptogen. That means it helps your body adapt to stress and maintain balance. What makes Maca special is that it appears to act on the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, the master controllers of your entire hormonal system. It doesn't add hormones to your body. It helps your body make more of its own. That's why the effects build over time rather than hitting you all at once. You're not borrowing energy from tomorrow. You're actually rebuilding your own system. 1 teaspoon gives your coffee a slightly nutty, almost caramel-like flavor. Some guys love it immediately, others need a week or two to get used to it. Pro tip: yellow maca is the mildest in flavor. Red maca is generally considered better for prostate health. Black maca is thought to be best for energy and endurance. I usually recommend starting with yellow and seeing how you respond. Most men notice a difference in energy and drive within 2 to 3 weeks. Not overnight, this isn't a magic pill, but a real lasting improvement that keeps building. I had a patient, let me call him Dan, a 54-year-old high school football coach from Texas. He came in looking defeated, said he didn't feel like himself anymore. After about a month on Maca, he told me it was like someone had turned the lights back on. Everything felt sharper, more focused. His wife noticed before he did. Last one, ginger. Fresh grated or powdered, both work. This stuff is like rocket fuel for your circulation. It contains compounds called gingerols and shogaols that are powerful anti-inflammatories. They open blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and here's the part that surprises most of my patients. Studies show ginger can actually increase testosterone levels by protecting your testes from oxidative stress. I know that sounds odd, so let me explain. Your testes are constantly under attack. The heat from sitting all day, the pressure from tight clothing, oxidative stress from normal metabolism, environmental toxins. The temperature in your testes needs to be about 2 to 3 degrees cooler than your core body temperature for optimal function. When they get too hot or too stressed, testosterone production drops. Ginger helps protect against that and keeps things functioning the way they should. A 2012 study showed a 17.7% increase in testosterone after 3 months of daily ginger supplementation. Another study showed improvements in sperm count and motility. Researchers believe it works by increasing luteinizing hormone, which signals your testes to produce more testosterone. That's a meaningful physiological change from something that costs a couple bucks at the grocery store. In your coffee, ginger adds a warm, spicy kick. Not overwhelming, just enough to wake up your whole system. It's the difference between a gentle nudge and a fire alarm. Isam. Start with a 1/4 teaspoon of powder or a thin slice of fresh ginger about the size of a quarter. Fresh ginger has more volatile oils for an immediate circulation boost. Powder is more concentrated in active compounds for long-term benefits. I personally like fresh in the morning for that wake-up effect. One thing I need to flag here, because I get this question a lot. If you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor before adding regular ginger to your routine. It can mildly thin the blood. And if you have a sensitive stomach, start small and take it with food. For most men, though, it's incredibly safe. It's been used medicinally for over 5,000 years across dozens of cultures. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Dr. Grant, do I have to turn my kitchen into a chemistry lab every morning just to drink coffee? Absolutely not. Here's how to make this actually work in real life. Start with one addition, just one. I always recommend beginning with cinnamon because it's easy. Easy. Most people enjoy the taste, and the blood sugar benefits are relevant for almost every man over 50 that I see in my practice. Add a 1/4 teaspoon to your coffee every morning for the first week. That's it. See how you feel. Week 2. If you're feeling good, add the cacao. 1 teaspoon along with the cinnamon. Week 3. Try Maca 3 times that week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let your body adjust to it gradually. Week 4, experiment with either coconut oil or ginger depending on what appeals to you. If you want to keep it even simpler, here's the lazy version that still works great. Buy Ceylon Cinnamon and unsweetened cacao powder. Keep them in a jar right next to your coffee maker. 1 scoop of each into your cup. Done. That's literally 5 extra seconds. Or if you want the weekend version, what I call my power coffee, here's what you do. Brew your regular coffee, pour it into a blender with a teaspoon of coconut oil, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of cacao, and a small piece of fresh ginger. Blend for about 30 seconds. It comes out frothy and rich, like something you'd pay $8 for at a specialty coffee shop. And it actually does something for your body. But I have to say this clearly, don't overdo it. Loading your coffee with all 5 ingredients on day 1 is going to give you digestive issues, and it's going to turn you off the whole idea. Start small, build gradually. Give your body time to respond. Also, and this is important for the guys managing existing health conditions, this is optimization, not medication. If you have serious medical issues like diabetes, heart disease, or hypertension, please continue working with your doctor. These additions can support your overall health, but they are not a substitute for proper medical care. I want to be very direct about that because I know many of you watching are managing one or more of these conditions. Speaking of which, several of you are probably wondering whether these ingredients are safe if you're on blood pressure medication or managing diabetes. That's a smart question, and it's one I should address directly. Cinnamon and ginger can both have mild blood pressure lowering effects. So if you're already medicated for hypertension, it's worth mentioning to your doctor that you're adding these consistently. Same thing with blood sugar. If you're on insulin, monitor your levels when you first start, because cinnamon genuinely does affect blood glucose. These aren't reasons to avoid them. They're just reasons to pay attention and communicate with your healthcare provider. For the guys asking about coffee alternatives, great question. If you don't drink coffee or you've been told to cut back on caffeine, you can absolutely add all of these to green tea, herbal tea, warm almond milk, or even just warm water with a squeeze of lemon. The benefits of the cinnamon, cacao, maca, and ginger are completely independent of the coffee itself. The coffee just happens to be a convenient daily vehicle that most people are already using. And for those of you asking where to find maca, most health food stores carry it. Whole Foods definitely does, and it's easy to order online. Look for organic maca powder with minimal processing. The total cost for all 3 starter ingredients, cinnamon, cacao, and maca, should run you about $15. That'll last you at least a month, probably longer. Here's what I want you to do starting tomorrow morning. Pick one ingredient. I'd say start with cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon in your coffee every morning for the next 30 days. Keep it simple. If you want to track it, use your phone's notes app or just grab a sticky note and put it on the fridge. Rate your energy from 1 to 10 each morning. Note anything unusual, good or bad. Note how your mornings feel compared to a month ago. I've had men come back to me genuinely shocked by what a few weeks of consistent effort can do. Not because any one of these ingredients is a miracle, but because when you start paying attention to what you put in your body every single day, and you start making small upgrades consistently, it compounds. That's how biology works. Gentlemen, you do not have to accept decline as inevitable. I've been saying this for over 30 years, and I'll keep saying it. Your body is still capable of remarkable things. Sometimes it just needs the right support to remind it of that. These aren't exotic ingredients. You're not going to a specialty lab or some obscure online store. This is your local grocery store. This is affordable. This fits into the routine you already have. And it's backed by real science and thousands of years of traditional use across multiple continents. So, tomorrow morning when you're standing at the coffee maker, remember this conversation. Remember that you have the ability to make that cup of coffee work harder for you with basically zero extra effort. Your body has been waiting for you to give it the right fuel. Let's start giving it what it needs. Drop a comment and tell me what you're currently putting in your coffee. I'm genuinely curious what you guys are already doing. And if you try any of these additions, come back and let me know how it went. Your experience might be exactly what another man needs to hear to take that first step. If this was helpful, subscribe for more real conversations about men's health after 50. No judgment, no embarrassment, just practical information that actually works. And share this with someone in your life who might need it. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can do for a friend is hand them information that could change how they feel every single day. This is Dr. Olivia Grant reminding you, small changes lead to big results. And it starts tomorrow morning with your very first cup.